Hello everyone and welcome to Riding with Rob. First and foremost, I want to apologize to everybody. There's been a week gap in my videos, but we were having some camera issues, and since my camera is my phone, it's all the same thing. And if you have T-Mobile and you ever have a problem with your phone, they are not helpful. Just going to throw that out there. They are very unhelpful, in fact. I spent probably a good 2 hours on the phone with T-Mobile, and then they transferred me to the insurance company who isn't T-Mobile for whatever reason, who said they can't cover it, who then sent me to Samsung, who said they will cover it, but it's going to take probably about 2 weeks, and so they gave me this really crappy loaner phone, which I then gave to my wife because, well, I needed to do a video. I mean, come on, guys, you know, I'm not going to leave you hanging. So, for today's topic, I really wanted to touch a little bit on the presidential election, and I mean, not so much, you know, all that mumbo-jumbo politic shit, but more or less, you know, it was something I wanted to do just before, you know, the election happened, but I didn't get to it, and that'd be what would I change if I were president. Now, if I was president, first and foremost, the number one thing that I would want to do is lift the speed limits off of all highway roads, all the interstates, just no more speed limit, Autobahn style, just fucking go, and just have, you know, suggested speeds. You know, you should probably be doing around 70 is probably a safe speed, you know, for people that, you know, are terrible drivers. So, and that brings me to my next point. There's a lot of terrible drivers, so this would be really hard to do, I think. So I think that, you know, you'd definitely have to switch out the whole driver's education system, because right now, basically, all it does is teaches you how to operate an automatic vehicle, which I think is bullshit. Okay, there's absolutely, you learned absolutely no skills in driver's education. I didn't even learn how to parallel park in driver's ed or go on the highway. Okay, so I was all freaked out about doing all kinds of stuff. They didn't give me any skills. I didn't learn how to brake in the wet, or, you know, handle a skid or a spin. And there's been a lot, like, I think a lot of accidents and a lot of, you know, fatalities are really because of this, because there's just not a very good driver's education system. Take, you know, Finland, for example. It takes you 4 years to get a complete driver's license, and they do everything from, you know, learning how to drift a car to dealing with, you know, mountainy roads and, you know, all kinds of different stuff, and every kind of different condition you can think of. And it's really, you know, a very advanced system. I think we should, you know, adopt something very similar to this. I think that, you know, kids should start driving when they're 15, and until the age of 17, they should be allowed no passengers except for a parent or somebody over the age of 21. And I think that's pretty reasonable. I think they shouldn't be allowed to drive at night for their first 2 years of driving, and I don't think that they should be allowed to drive with any of their friends or have any passengers unless, you know, it's an emergency situation. You know, my friend got hit in the head, and, you know, I gotta drive him to the hospital. That's, you know, reasonable, okay? And I also think there should be 2 different types of licenses you have to get. There should be a manual transmission license, which I think should be the easier one to get. I think the test for that shouldn't be as difficult as an automatic driver's license. And the reason is because you don't have to pay attention as much when you have an automatic car. I mean, you just don't. With a manual, you know, you really have to pay attention to the road around you. Everybody drives automatics nowadays, hence the texting and driving and, you know, people checking their Facebook and killing other people. It's like, come on, really? So, you know, that's my real opinions on the whole driver's education system. I think if people in this country were much better drivers, then we could have awesome interstate no speed limits. Just suggested speed limits. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, speed limits everywhere should be lifted, because, you know, it's only reasonable to think, okay, I'm driving through the middle of a town, you know, 35 miles an hour is probably quick enough, you know. So I just think that, you know, when getting on the highway, you know, our cars are made to go a lot faster than, you know, 55, 65 miles per hour. You end up with a lot of traffic, especially when you get, you know, into, you know, a lot of different sections where there's merging and stuff like that. And you know what? It would just alleviate so much. And then also trucking, for another instance, you know, those guys are limited to, they can only do, you know, 50 miles an hour or whatever. increase the speed of our shipping and watch our economy grow because they can get places faster. And that's just my opinion. But that's my video for today, guys. Sorry once again about the gap, but you know what? Why don't you guys tell me what you would change if you were president and your main focus was cars, like mine, or maybe not. Maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe you disagree with me. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you could, while you're down there, hit like and subscribe because, hey, thumbs up, I'm awesome. And as always, I'm Rob telling you to enjoy the drive.